The meeting of the Board of Ellis County Commissioners will now come to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bobby, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Joe LaRue.
Here.
Chair Butch Schleier.
Here.
Commissioner Neil Younger.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Order of business. There'll be no changes to the order of business, and there's no executive sessions this evening. Prior minutes. Commissioners, did you review the prior minutes?
Everything looked good.
Okay. Minutes stand as submitted. Consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda, items A through G.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes 3-0. Any issues from persons not on the order of business? Doesn't look like it. The monthly department report. Commissioners, did you get to review the report? Okay, very good. Next agenda item would be the EMS Hayes Medical Center transport agreement. Danita?
Good evening, Danita Schrader, Director, Ellis County EMS. Tonight I'm bringing before you an ambulance transport agreement for non-emergency transports with Hayes Med. We've had this transport agreement in effect for a while. I noticed it has not been updated since 2009. So we've rewritten it with new fees. Basically, to explain a little bit, this is agreement to take patients that are not released from Hayes Med that go to another facility for specialized tests. I would say 99% of these usually go to Salina for some kind of a GI test or whatever. But we usually bring them, they're not released, so we bring them back to Hayes Med, and then we are reimbursed from Hayes Med for these charges. Like I said, it hasn't been changed since 2009. And we needed to update the fees in order to meet our costs, to help cover our costs. They are just a little bit above, just a smidge of what we get reimbursed from Medicare for a regular transport. And basically we do this just to give them a break and kind of a good neighbor thing and to help them out with their transports. I guess that's all. Do you have any questions?
And Hayes Med has agreed to this
Yes.
pricing too?
Yep, they have agreed to it and they've signed their portion.
Okay. How many such transports do you do for Hayes Med in a year like this?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, because the last 2 years with COVID, of course, they went way down. But I'd say within June, we've done already about 5 or 6 of them. So they're really starting back up again.
Okay. Commissioner Joe, any questions?
Well, aside from the fact they've already agreed to it, so why not? We got to cover our costs. We can't lose money
Right.
providing the service if at all possible, even though it's one that needs to be provided. So I'd be fine with it.
Commissioner Neal, questions, concerns?
I guess concern, how long is this contract going to be?
It is,
Let it run over since '09?
it's year by year
Okay.
right now, unless
Okay.
one of the parties agrees to change it or to get rid of it, I guess.
That's my only.
Okay, commissioners, is there a motion for this?
Sure. I move to approve the ambulance transport agreement with Hayes Med.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Danita. Okay, the next agenda item is the landfill rate increases. Justin.
Hello, good evening, Commissioners. Justin Craig, Director of Environmental Services. So the last rate increase at the landfill was in February of 2018. Things have obviously changed in the world since then, so I'm proposing that we change a few of the tipping fee schedules and also to implement a 3-tier rates for for the landfill. So the 3 tiers would be based on the tonnage that are brought in, where the, the city of Hayes brings well over 300 tons in a month. We will discount their rate now, which we currently do. Apologize if this sheet's a little confusing. When I'd spoken with the city of Hayes and Ideal Refuse about the possible increase in 2025 going into 2026 when our contracts are up with the Inner Circle and Finney County, I did discuss the possibility then that we may need to go up next year, and that if we were to review it next spring, that would allow time for them to budget to put it into effect for 2024 to go in with them. So
Now, I suppose with the cost of fuel, our rates are going to have to increase probably quite a bit,
yeah.
just to cover the transfers down to Garden City.
Mhm.
So, I know the last time we had a rate increase at the landfill, there were some miscommunications with the city of Hayes, and it didn't set well with them for a while. So we want to make sure we avoid all that kind of thing too.
Yeah, and when I spoke with them, we have spoken with them, so they pay a flat rate every month for trees. Next year, that's going to increase to $1,200. And that's why I was wanting to look at it in the spring of '23. I don't want to come back
Sure.
every year to do it, but with the unknowns, with the fuel prices and whatnot.
Oh, absolutely, Justin. Commissioner Neal, do you have any questions, concerns?
That's, like I say, the fuel, the parts, everything, from wages to tires, just the maintenance on everything. It's a good idea.
Commissioner Joe?
No, nothing.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll move that we approve the proposed Ellis County solid waste rate increase in pricing structure effective 8/1 of 2022.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
But wait, there's more.
There's more, yes.
There's more. I hid there. Did you see that?
Okay, the next agenda item is the planning and zoning mileage compensation.
All right, good evening
Justin.
again. Yep, Justin Craig, Environmental Services Director. So with the addition of the the Planning and Zoning Board of Appeals duties we've put on the Planning and Zoning Commission, there's been some discussion that we were wanting to try and compensate them in any way possible for their time that they volunteer. There is a statute that they are not allowed to be compensated directly for that position. It has to be volunteered. However, there is an Attorney General opinion, which I've attached, that says that reimbursing them for mileage does not violate that statute. So I went and redid all these numbers when they increased the rates in the middle of it. So if all 12 members were to come to all 12 meetings, it would cost approximately just a little over $721 in mileage. And we would include, we budgeted a little bit more just in case they were wanting to go do a site visit for a conditional use permit or whatnot, but
Now, currently, they're not getting any mileage compensation?
no.
No.
I believe the rep from Shinshin gets something from the city of Shinshin, I believe, but no one else.
Sure. No, I think it's probably only fair to try to do something when they have to travel, so. Commissioner Joe?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, they're doing us a great service by volunteering their time. We don't want them to, especially now with fuel costing what it does. I'd hate to see them, have to take too much out of pocket to help us out. The only thing I'd like to see is using the gentleman from Shinshin as an example. If somebody else is already reimbursing them that cost, unless it doesn't break any rules of some kind. That's why a lawyer's here. I'm not a lawyer. But I'd hate to see somebody, I don't want to see anyone go in a hole, but I don't want to see people get reimbursed 2 or 3 times from different entities for the same mileage.
Okay.
So I don't know what kind of check and balance you could have to make sure that doesn't occur, but on the surface, no, absolutely, we need to cover their expense.
Okay.
Commissioner Neal, questions or concerns?
I think it's a great idea. I didn't volunteer for it. Another fellow commissioner nominated me, and I went on it. It's definitely needed, I feel, so.
Okay. Is there a motion for this?
I'll move to approve the reimbursement of mileage expenses for the Planning and Zoning Commission members incurred for travel to and from the scheduled meetings of the Planning and Zoning Commission, the Zoning Board of Appeals, presentations to Ellis County Commission and related site inspections effective January 1st of 2023.
And I'll second
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
it.
Motion passes 3-0.
Mr.
Thank you, Justin.
Mr. Chair, if I could, Bill Jeter,
Sure.
County Councilor, I would suggest that Justin check with the representative from Shinshin and the city of Shinshin, and if they are reimbursing their member for mileage, that advise them as of January 1st, the county would take over that expense.
Okay.
So that he's not double paid.
Okay.
Yeah, and it helps them out because their
Yeah,
budget's a lot
exactly.
smaller, of course.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Justin. Okay, the next agenda item is the Health Department Message Center. Darren?
Good evening, Commissioners. Darren Myers, County Administrator. Before you tonight is a purchase order to potentially purchase a two-sided 4-foot by 8-foot digital LED display sign to be located at the entryway of the parking lot on 8th Street here to the admin building. As you are aware, our health director, which is here tonight, has been tirelessly spending her time getting all of her grants in order, from the health department remodel to salaries to computers. There's too many to mention, but as part of it, instead of giving money back, we came up with the idea of putting up an LED sign, and I think it was originally given to her by one of the other administrators in the state, to essentially, during the time of the pandemic, or COVID as it just were, to be able to direct people to where the health department is, where there's vaccination sites, where they need information for health purposes. So we had started talking about that locally and decided, well, it may be a good idea to put it down here because then we could use it to be more in the public's eye and being able to advertise not just health department issues, but when voting places are, voting dates, when you need to pay your tags, employment opportunities, so many more things that are a lot more visible than on the front of the health department. We also did look at the front of the health department as a place to put a sign. Unfortunately, against city ordinance, we weren't able to put one anywhere but on the property of the health department. You can't put one on the street, and you can't essentially advertise your business on somebody else's property. So once you find your way to the health department, you probably don't need that direction on where the health department is, so we decided to put the proposal together to come down here. We did put the specs together and put an RFP out, listed on our website, sent it to some vendors, and we did get one response back. The response back did meet the specifications and time requirements for the grant from which Kim's up against. And as you can see, there is a picture of what that rendering of the sign out front would look like. It is a lot more than we would originally, would have our county funds to pay for it, but she does have about $67,000 in grant money to fund this. This is only a $61,000 purchase, so it'll be reimbursed 100% by the state. And she just informed me when I walked out there before the meeting, the other money will help replace their copier in their office, the leftover between what the grant amount is compared to what we paid for, if approved, for this sign. So with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Okay, well, I think it could be very helpful to have a message of, like you say, there could be various kinds. Would you or Kim be able to put in the messages, or is that done by someone else?
So the sign comes with a lifetime cell service. So you basically install the program on any computer you want, and whether it be my laptop right here, but it'll connect to the system through the cell service. And I can't remember, 20-some thousand display choices that you can customize, whether it's like a flying flag if you just want to say Happy 4th of July, to creating your own or using their canned messages. So it makes it a lot easier, and it comes with lifetime training, so that way throughout the process you get all the upgrades with the software, but also training of new employees. And then we would have identify several people throughout the county that would have access to it that could run those messages for the county. Like our administrative assistant could be a key point of contact, the health department putting their messages out and things like that. So they claim it's very user-friendly.
Well, I think it'd be good to have signage that could display services and activities that are going on. Commissioner Neal?
This might be a Bill question. Can we advertise where her facility is on this, so if some of the people don't know about it and they're having a hard time finding it?
Being the health department?
Yes,
Sure.
okay. I didn't know what the city,
Use it for any county activity.
okay. Okay, that would be a good deal.
Commissioner Joe?
Yeah, this is great. I mean, you've been just so aggressive about seeking out grant money and doing some really cool things with the health department, and some of the things you have coming down the pike are even more exciting. So yeah, this is wonderful that the money's already in place to reimburse us.
Okay. Well, Commissioners, I will make a motion to approve purchase order 7665 for the purchase of one double-sided LED message sign to be installed at the administrative building. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay, our county administrator report.
The only thing that I want to report tonight is just a reminder, as well as to the public, we'll have a special commission meeting Wednesday at 1 p.m. For the approval and purchase of land.
Okay,
That's all I got.
county commissioner reports. Commissioner Neal?
That was pretty boring. I had nothing.
Okay. Commissioner Joe?
The only thing I have is, between last meeting and this one, I had the chance to meet with the new person at Grow Hayes, just to kind of touch base with them and see what things they had coming down the pike. And it was a good meeting and seemed like a really great addition to the Grow Hayes staff.
Sure. Okay. And I have no report. So, any other business? If not, we will adjourn at 5:17.